So as we all know by now, Trump made insane statements early this week. He said a whole civilization will die tonight. Obviously, since we've had the ceasefire that is not going so well. More about that later on in the show. But Americans were polled to see how they felt about that statement. Here is a poll from YouGov, conducted on April 7th, titled Approval for Trump's A Whole Civilization Will Die Tonight post. 64 disapprove and 23% approve. 23% of Americans are okay with the civilization being wiped off the planet. Absolutely demonic shit. But that's not surprising because the entirety of MAGA, their entire brain is owned by Epstein-class brain rot. But what's crazy is the last poll that I saw, his base, specifically MAGA base, is about 36% of this country. You can see that by this poll by PRRI, and shows that 36% of Americans approve of Donald Trump. So that's what makes the 23% number interesting that approved of his genocidal rhetoric. The most popular that Donald Trump will ever be is today. He will be more unpopular tomorrow. This is no surprise. Those numbers are heading down, down, down. But the fact that 23% of people thought that that was okay, 23% of Americans thought that that was like, yeah, that's fine with me. So watch out. 23%, gonna run into a fucking demon. They're among us. But here's how Americans are feeling about the war as a whole. On issueinsights.com, they showed that Americans are still split on Iran military action. It's a war. Call it a fucking war. Americans are still split on Vietnam military action. Americans are still split on the Gulf conflict. And then always later on, they're like, yeah, it was the Vietnam War. It was the Gulf War. Yeah. Korea, also a war. We're going to call it a war, but we won't at the time because that would fucking leave us in an illegal war. Americans as a whole, 25% strongly support, 21% somewhat support, 10% is like, I have work tomorrow. They're not sure. 16% somewhat oppose, and 29% strongly oppose. Obviously, among Democrats, those numbers are high. 71% oppose the war. But among Republicans, because let's be honest, if you have fallen victim to Republican propaganda, you just think wars are good. You just think we must be doing this because we're the good guys. Because we're always the good guys. We're not the number one state sponsor of terror, what we're calling Iran. We're not. So, what is it? Overall, 78% of Republicans support this war. Like, how could you? Yeah, dude. 200 billion, 400 billion, 30 billion already. 1.5 trillion in military budget. We love it. And we don't want health care. We don't want child care. We don't want affordable housing. Go bomb the kids. That's really what your worldview comes down to on military actions. If you're a Republican, you're not. How do you not see that our money is going to shit that doesn't benefit us? And that ever since 1953, we've been fucking around in fucking Iran's government. How has that benefited you ever? More intervention is not the answer. MS Now did a video just talking to regular Americans in Georgia, I believe, about how they feel about the war.
It's giving war crime. You can't do that. We don't just annihilate people because we can and make a grab for the money and the oil. And that's what we've done in Venezuela, and that's what we're doing in Iran.
Yes, Queen Boots. Yes, mamas. It's giving war crime. It's giving Donald Trump, go to The Hague right now. It's going, Donald Trump, can you please report to The Hague for war crimes? Thank you.
I back the president completely. I feel like whatever his decision is, then that's what should be done.
Go, 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 go. This guy's not alive. This guy, yeah, that's your base. That's your base, Donnie boy. This guy's not alive. We're for real? This guy can vote? Just dead guy. Yeah, Republicans always want to be like, yeah, dude, there's 300 people, 300-year-old people getting fucking Social Security. Yeah, somebody's 5,000-year-old grandma voted for Biden. Did you know that? Meanwhile, this dead guy just walking around at a Kroger is gonna go to the polls in a couple of months. I promise you, you have more dead zombies walking around as your Republican voters. That's just somebody who doesn't know. And hey, this is the majority of Republicans, by the way. The majority of Republican voters, check this out. They don't actually know what's going on. They vote based on propaganda because they're like, that sounds good. Or like, that's going to trigger the libs. Anyways, war, not good for the homeland. Not good for people overseas that we're bombing for no reason because, well, not no reason. Obviously, Benjamin Netanyahu wants us to, and we'll get in more into that. Him violating the ceasefire, him being like, I'll do basically whatever I want. We will keep on bombing. We will keep on bombing because that's what we do, and we want to bring about greater Israel. The majority of people are happy about the ceasefire. There's a few that are not. Here's how Mark Levin feels about the ceasefire.
People of Iran, what are we going to just leave them there? There's nothing that we can do and we're going to wash our hands over that? That to me is morally very difficult to accept.
What about the people of Iran? What about the people of... Dude, I'm so tired of fake Republican outrage. You don't give a fuck about the people of Iran. Every other regime in the world is the devil, and America has to come and liberate them, which means steal their resources, kill their people, take over their government. You don't care about the people of Iran. I am begging you to be serious. Like, he's genuinely having a fucking... He's spiraling. He's about to cry. He's like, morally... Like, his hands were shaking and shit. Morally. I can't. Morally.
And then what about the proxies, Hezbollah? I was reading these statements. Hezbollah has killed more Americans than Iran directly. Hezbollah is Iran. Hezbollah is firing missiles into Israel by the hundreds still.
And what about Hezbollah? We have to keep on bombing innocent people in Lebanon and invading their space, invading their land and taking it. We have to keep on doing that. Hezbollah is Iran. Everybody's Iran, except for the United States and Israel. Let's take the whole world. Might is right. Dude, these people, they really think that. And I cannot wait for them to be Chinese. If you think might is right, you're Chinese. And if you don't want to be Chinese, you better start respecting sovereign nations and their leaders and their governments and just stop intervening. Imperialism, bad. Hey, Republicans watching this, imperialism, bad. Not money for healthcare, not money for childcare, not money for affordable housing, which you apparently care about because your kids can't buy houses, not money for roads, not money for infrastructure, not money for subsidies. Okay? Imperialism, bad. It's not good for you. You benefit, you get nothing from your country going across the world and stealing resources. Okay? You got it? Did it work? Laura Loomer, also not happy. So we got micro penis Mark Levin and Laura Looser. That's who's cheering for this war.
I don't think that it was good at all to try to negotiate with these people.
First of all, I just saw this clip and I saved it. Somebody, please. This is not real, right? Laura Loomer doesn't look like Buzz Lightyear with makeup on, right? And hey, look, I'm not one to be talking, but Laura Loomer doesn't look like Buzz Lightyear with makeup on, does she? Somebody level with me in the comments. Does this real, please?
I don't think that it was good at all to try to negotiate with these people because now they think that they have legitimacy, that they are, equal partners at the table, and that they are equals to our negotiators here in the United States.
And she doesn't like this because now Iran feels like They're equals. And I think this is a bad idea because now they think they're at the table. Now they think they're humans.
And I think that is a grave mistake. I think that it is a grave mistake to make these terrorist leaders, these IRGC leaders who are now in charge of Iran, to let them think that they are legitimate actors.
She knows what the implication of would be of Trump going through with this. It was the end of their civilization. Here's what she said.
I think that it's really dangerous for the long term of our own, not just our national security, but the survival of our country and the survival of Western civilization. I think it was a terrible decision today. I think it was a terrible decision to have a ceasefire.
This is really a bad move for the security of the United States and the survival of our country and Western civilization. So we should have ended their civilization, and then I would be happy. That's the implication here. Even just letting their civilization exist is a bad idea. It's gotten to the point that MAGA will attack anybody who opposes this war, including people within their own party. We'll get to that, but first, Ben Shapiro crying about Ryan Grim. Let's get into it.
Ryan Grim, who's become a favorite on the horseshoe right and the grievance party right, suddenly quoted by all of these people who have decided that isolationism is the way. He put out an actual tweet saying this. So Sean McGuire, who's an investor, put out a tweet saying, how did we get to the point where so many Americans are rooting against America? And Ryan Grim, over at Drop Site News, which is a left-wing misinformation propaganda site.
Drop Site News, which is it's too like Mark Levin. Here, let me try. Cuck. Okay, I think I got it. Dropsite News, which is a left-wing propaganda and misinformation website. If Dropsite is a left-wing propaganda network, then what are you? Oh, obviously, this is the Truth Channel. This is the Daily Truth. Fuck you.
Put out the statement, quote, if this is an honest question, I'd say Americans are rooting against America because we facilitated a genocide. Presumably, this would be Israel's action against Hamas, which was not, in fact, even remotely close to a genocide, and followed it with a surprise attack on a girls' elementary school, followed by attacks on universities, medical centers, more schools, a world-famous pharmaceutical research center, a volleyball team, an unfinished bridge we claimed was transporting weapons, and then a nuclear power plant. We are now promising endless attacks on civilian infrastructure. Okay, so again, every single thing he is saying there is a lie.
Every single thing that he is saying there is a lie. And my bushy brows are getting frazzled just thinking about it.
And the reason I say it's a lie is because we have hit those sites because they are dual-use sites, except for the ones that we hit by accident.
Oh, dual-use sites. Dual-use sites. Yeah, just like every site in Gaza and the West Bank is a dual-use site. Yeah, all the places in Iran and Lebanon, all dual-use sites. Dual-use daycares, dual-use grocery stores, dual-use hospitals, dual-use bridges, dual-use playgrounds, dual-use... Everything's dual-use. The Daily Wire News, that is a right-wing propaganda misinformation network, suck a fucking dick. You are quite literally disseminating propaganda. Like, just be honest about what you're doing. I will say this, Benny Bushy Brown Boy, they double-tapped that girls' school. The one that you're calling an accident? They hit it again. Whoopsie doopsie. Double accident. Oh my God. Double stuff accidents now available at Walmart.
If you truly believe that the American military is so evil that we target girls' schools for the fun of it, that there's no military usefulness, no mistakes made, that we just decided to get up one morning and murder a bunch of schoolgirls, get the hell out of the country. Seriously, you hate the country and you hate the military. There's no other way to explain what you are saying. There's no other way to explain it. You think Pete Hegseth and President Trump are sitting around drawing up a target list and they say, you know what, just for good measure, let's kill a bunch of Iranian schoolgirls. Is that what you think? If you think that, you despise America. Again, you can oppose the war. You can oppose the way that the war is being fought. You can have problems with the general overall strategy. You can have honest questions about the war. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about people openly hoping that America loses because they do not like America, because they think a more powerful America in the world is a bad thing. And Iran is counting on these people to undermine support. Again, this is nothing new. This happened throughout American history. If you go back to the Vietnam War, the Viet Cong were counting on moron university students to claim that the real bad guys versus, the communists who were murdering hundreds of thousands of people, that the real bad guys were actually the United States. And that's why you had them literally chanting in solidarity with Ho Chi Minh. Same sorts of people now, and they span a large swath of the left and a large part of the right now, or at least a significant part of the online right. I shouldn't say a large part of the right because, again, it's not true. But Ryan Grimm and Tucker Carlson are holding hands, walking off into their common isolationist, anti-American future together.
This is such a tired talking point. If you don't support the Iraq War, if you don't support the Vietnam War, if you don't support the Gulf War, if you don't support the war in Iran, then you hate the country. You just hate the country. No, I love this country. I hate our right-wing leadership, including the Diet MAGA Democrats. And next up, we got Trump aiming at MAGA. We got friendly fire against Tucker, Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones, and Candace Owens. Apparently, they don't have a word limit over their own Truth Social, so hang with me with this one. It's gonna be a long one. My throat is gonna be hurting me by the end of this one, so leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years. They haven't, by the way. They just spoke out about you over the past week, especially by the fact that they think it's wonderful for Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, to have nuclear weapons. He's strawmanning them. I'm strawmanning them. I'm ad-homing them because because I have no argument, because I suck. Because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people. They know it, their families know it, and everyone else knows it too. Look at their past, look at their record. You don't have what it takes, they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers. Ooh-wee, we got a couple troublemakers over here in MAGA. And will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they can get some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, but nobody's talking about them. You're talking about them right now. Got it, okay. And their views are the opposite of MAGA, or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. MAGA agrees with me and just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump. Not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson. Dude, there's no way he just called Tucker a hand-flailing fool. There is no absolute way in this world. Who couldn't even finish college. Hey, man, that hurts. He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox. And he's never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist. Or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me about the now famous Only Rosie O'Donnell question, or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man, when she is not, and will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is far more beautiful than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attacks on the families of Sandy Hook. That was, it's Alex Jones, dude. Ridiculous, claiming it was a hoax. These so-called pundits are losers, and they always will be. Now, fake news, CNN, the flailing New York Times, and all the other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives. They're not MAGA, they're losers. Just trying to latch onto MAGA. As president, I could get them on my side anytime I want to, but when they call, I don't return their calls because I'm too busy on world and country affairs. After a few times, they go nasty. Just like Marjorie Trader Brown. By the way, grass turns brown when it's dead. Come on. Trump 2016 would never. And it's brown because I no longer care about that stuff. I only care about doing right for our country. MAGA is winning, and strength is in not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons. MAGA is about making America great again, and also Israel. And he didn't say that, I said that. And these people have no idea how to do that, but I do, because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world. President Donald J. Trump. Whew. They need a word limit over there. So apparently Laura Loomer, as I like to call her, Laura Loser, Laura Coomer, went to tell her daddy. She went to tell on her daddy. Tucker's saying bad stuff about you, Dad. Dad, Tucker's saying bad stuff about you. And evidently, the last video that I reacted to was edited, because here she looks a lot more normal and not like Buzz Lightyear with makeup on. Anyways, let's check it out.
But the president has had enough of Tucker's shit. And yeah, I'm just going to admit it. I sent the president Tucker Carlson's clip so he can see the shit that he says about him.
Yeah, I told on him, and it's true. They act like an attack on President Trump is a direct attack on the country. It's not true. That just goes to show they don't have loyalty to the Constitution. They don't have loyalty to this country and to the people of this country. They only have loyalty to Trump. And I told him. And I told on him. And I sure did. I told on him.
I do. And I want that motherfucker Tucker Carlson to know that I'm the one who knifed him from the front. I want him to know. I'm not talking about physical violence, physical knifing. But yeah, I'm the one that sent the president all your shit, Tucker, because he deserves to see the fact that you are lying about him.
Lies? What lies did he tell? Did he said that President Trump is most likely blackmailed because the country of Israel has a history of doing things like that, which, I mean, that's the best case scenario, that he's blackmailed, because otherwise he's just doing this shit for the fun of the game. You know? He's just warmongering for the love of the game. They better have blackmail on him. Otherwise, he's the shittiest president of all time for fun.
And you are smearing him, and you are saying the most vile things about our country and our president, and you are creating so much chaos. You're going to cause the Democrats to take the House and the Senate, and you are endangering our national security by whitewashing this barbaric death cult ideology known as Islam.
Bro, they just take our own, they take our flow every single chance that they get. Islam is a death cult. Dude, the Christian evangelicals are throwing parties right now going, yay, Jesus is coming, we're all gonna die because Iran is fucking being bombed and Israel's gonna be all of the Middle East. Like, that's the real death cult, okay? Apparently this is the impression. Here's Tucker's response. He's in a tough spot. Establishment media never reports this, but the Israeli government has a storied history of blackmailing U.S. presidents. Perhaps the most jarring example occurred in the 90s, when Israel used recordings of Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky having a phone sex session as leverage to pressure Clinton into releasing convicted spy Jonathan Pollard from prison. We're not joking. that really happened. The phone sex story is worth remembering as President Trump attempts to end the Iran war. Like many other things Israel has done, it shows that America's special ally is willing to play very dirty to achieve its goals. Dark money campaign contributions, extortion, physical threats, and even assassination. In their anti-Christian worldview, the ends always justify the means. They have no issue destroying lives. Israel's current top priority is making sure Operation Epic Fury does not stop. They know the U.S. fighting their war for them is the best chance at expanding their borders and becoming a global superpower. A peace deal would foil their plot. Based on the country's past, its leaders are doubtlessly willing to push as hard as necessary to ensure the bloodshed continues. That could mean Clinton-style blackmail against Trump, or something far more morbid. I want to make it clear, as I always do, Tucker, I'm not agreeing with you. You're agreeing with me. You're agreeing with the left. So let's be clear about that. Plenty of leftists will have this, like, oh my God moment. Am I agreeing with Tucker Carlson? That's what they want. That's the goal now. But no, it's not true. Tucker is agreeing with the left. If you're MAGA, you gotta be thinking right now, okay, so I can't watch Megyn Kelly anymore because she spoke out against Trump. I can't watch Candace Owens, who we really like because she was friends with Charlie Kirk. She spoke out against Donald Trump. I can't watch Alex Jones, which no loss there, but only for the reason that he spoke out against Donald Trump. We can't watch Tucker. You are putting your base in a difficult spot. These are people that they've been watching for probably like 30 years. Some of these people, especially Tucker. And I have to imagine that a lot of them are going, this doesn't seem right. You're telling me all of these people are just like, now the bad guys? No, maybe Trump is the bad guy. That has to be what's going through the mind of many MAGA people over this past month. Anyways, folks, that's the show today. I'm going to try to get this up as soon as I can. I have so much other stuff going on. This is not my full-time job, even though I'd like it to be. So if you enjoyed the show today, please consider supporting. We got the link tree in the bio, got Ko-Fi in there, and the PayPal in there. So I'd appreciate you so much if you have the means to support, and I'll shout you out in the next one. Thank you so much. This is 100% independent, people-powered, people-centered, free speech. Fuck you and your ass media. We're not fucking playing. We're not holding any punches. Nobody tells me what to think. This is the motherfucking news as filtered through my brain. So if you enjoyed that, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like, leave a comment. It really helps push us in the algorithm. And anyways, that's it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you later. Sorry if this news is a little bit late. Like I said, not my full-time job. I'm trying to get this out as soon as I can. Anyway. See you.